debit card. Sending him a present. Stuff to eat. Plus hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I think I'm going to look at a long hauler. Hang on here. Didn't notice it when I was coming in. You know, I like to look at these kind right here. See what they're hauling. Now, I'm not promoting anything. MLM. Steel girder type material. What do you think? It's construction material. What do you think it would be used for? Now look. It's imprinted with a stock number, a part number. SD1 space USA space A248998-202 space W16X31. So the stock is 16 inches wide, and I'm going to guess 31 feet long. Now, why did I read off the numbers? Have you ever heard of Google search? What do we want to bet? Oh, the taillights are on. Hang on. I want to circle. I want to get the guy coming side on. So what I was saying was, yeah, he's got his engine's probably running. My guess is I'll be able to find who manufactured it and the actual product description online if I just put in that long sequence to Google search. What do you think? I'll do it live to see if we can figure if it works. All right? And he's got his little red flags at the back as required because the load sticks out beyond the bed. Oh, wait a minute. There's more to be seen. Although it's empty. So, somebody else has dropped their trailer here. This is similar to the kind of trailer that delivered that truck to Scott's Garage a week and a half ago. You think those are spare wheels? No. You can see how it hooks up to the tractor here. And it's called, I'm trying to get the brand name. Something Hawk. End tire. Do you think it's, I think it's Black Hawk. We can see all kinds of trucks here. We can see all kinds of trucks. Hang on, I'm being careful. Don't want traffic to run me over. Now there's a lot of traffic. I have to wait. I got even more traffic. I gotta wait. I can't believe this. They keep coming. Okay, here we go. I'm looking both ways. And I want to look on the other side of this. So this gets hitched up and it lifts it up, but I'm wondering, you guys can answer it for me, is this spare set of wheels actually meant to go under the front if the load is too heavy? In other words, is that the extra capacity wheel stuff? That's a question for you people that know about trucks and trailers. Because he's got three pairs of wheels in the back. I'm guessing that's for an extra heavy load. So for those who may know the actual answer, instead of me just BSing, please put it in a comment. So you learn as you go, folks. You learn as you go. You see stuff and you learn from it. And all I did was come out here to get a loaf of bread. And a little bit more. Steve AB4 y'all, just out and around on this beautiful overcast Sunday, waiting for Christmas to come, saying see you in 73. Well, folks, I'm at home. And I transcribed the hieroglyphics that I read out loud off of the steel beam on that truck. And we're going to use the powerful Google search engine. Now, I'm not promoting anything. I'm not recommending anything. Will it succeed or will it fail? Is the transcription meaningful or just random? So I highlight it and I copy it and I bring up the search engine and I paste it in. Your search did not match any documents. Also try these searches: weather tomorrow, Spanish to English, time in Tokyo, hardware store. Have we already fallen on our face? USA and SV1 I don't think go anywhere. Oh, it likes the W16 by 31. It's not remembering the A24898-202. What's this right here? Is that a picture, a cartoon of what we saw on the truck? Beamdimensions.com. Were we looking at steel beams? The steel beam dimensions for the W16 by 31 section can be seen in the table. The depth of the section is 15.9 inches. The width of the section, they mean the section of the arc. When you look at the end-on cut of the beam, can we... Oh, it's not any big. Okay. So the 16 and the 31 are rounded numbers because the 16 represents 15.9 inches, which means the standard must have set originally in metric. How do I read I-beam? Was that an I-beam we saw in there, among others? Yes. How do I read I-beam dimensions? You see it's an I, the letter I. What size is W8 by 31? Well, I'm not interested in that. Dimensions and section properties for W16 by 31. Calc.app, steel, sections properties, W16 by 31. Looks like we got a couple of hits. Okay, so we got 2 hits. Let's try the first one. The steel beam dimensions for the W16 by 31 section. You see how it looks like an I-beam? See, it reminds me, hang on, no, my mind strays, my mind wanders. Indian steel workers on New York skyscraper. Mohawk iron workers, also known as Kenyan, have worked on many New York City skyscrapers, including the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and the World Trade Center. How did that just pop out? Well, then you have to go back to when I was maybe 10 years old at the Majestic Theater, movie theater, with the newsreel showing the guys up on, way up, no building, it's just the steel work, and they're sitting there. I haven't pre-done this. This is from when I was like 10 years old. You see what I mean by just sitting there? Can you see him working there? Can you see him working there, walking around like it's nothing? Mohawk iron workers. Mohawk iron workers gave rise to New York skyscrapers. Flatiron Nomad. The name of this. November is Native American Heritage Month in honor of the contributions by the Mohawk. I remember in Western Massachusetts there's Mohawk Trail. I've done something recently in upstate New York. There's the Mohawk Valley. Is that where they're from? Oh, they're from upstate New York, and they went down to the city to work. In honor of contributions made by Mohawk iron workers who helped construct New York City's iconic skyline, the Flatiron Partnership highlights the role of the group in the area's building boom era of the 20th century. And the picture was, because he's got a, can we make this bigger? See the feather? So my mind wanders, right? Things just pop out from when I was no more than 10 years old. So back to this. W16 by 31 dimensions. The steel beam dimensions of the W16 by 31, which must be some kind of industry standard, section can be seen in the table. The depth of the section is 15.9 inches. The width of the section is 5.53 inches. And it also has specified widths, and in other words, everything has a fixed size when they're rolling these. Materials and Design Standards W16 by 31. This section is typically designed using Design Standard AISC 360-16 LRFD and is manufactured using hot rolled process as it is a steel section. Now, again, this is something I remember from my childhood. The hot rolling process is a metalworking technique, this is like Detroit, that involves heating steel above its recrystallization temperature and then shaping it. The steel is heated to a high temperature, usually over 1700 degrees Fahrenheit, in a furnace. The heated steel is fed through multiple rollers at high speed to flatten and spin it into a large roll. And then you cool it. So National Material Company, the difference between hot and cold rolled steel. Hot rolled refers to a mill process. I'm waiting for it to answer. And if you want to get into it in depth, okay? And just for the fun of it, we go images. You see how they heat it up, then they roll it, and they roll it more. And there's a picture of the process also. Now the question would be, are those beams molded or are they welded together? Because they're in the shape of an eye. And these pictures are only showing you how to end up with a flat thing. How are they formed into the I-beam? This is just the rolling process. Now, the machinery to do this fits in a very large building. It's not the size of your desk. But that's kind of obvious, right? And did I, as a kid at the Majestic Theater in the newsreels, ever see them doing that to impress the kids in the Saturday matinee? Okay, now, I'm going to go to the URL and I'm going to take off this much. And then it's got W shapes. Because I can see that it's a multiple factor. So the specific one of the W16 by 31 now becomes this table. And up there it says American AISC W shapes, whatever those are. The beam size table below lists beam dimensions for the AISC steel section library. These properties are critical for structural engineers. Oh, so I wasn't wrong to show you the Mohawks. I said in the parking lot they're building materials for structural engineers to ensure successful design outcomes for structures. Make sure that, oh, you mean everything has to fit together? That there may be other things that clamp on or fit through, and the beam has to be the right dimensions, or when you try to stick it through the hole, it doesn't go, or it wobbles too much. Make sure that you bookmark this page for future engineering needs. This information in the table below is powered by SkyCiv's comprehensive section database. I don't know who SkyCiv. It's the same database used in all SkyCiv structural analysis software. Hang on. SkyCiv.com. I'm not promoting anything. This is the first time I'm looking. Some of these, Texas A&M, this one, MAERSK, that's a European country, Stanford University. Powerful, easy to use structural analysis and design software, accessible anywhere from your browser, so it's not a desktop app. Here's an example. Get started for free, just for the fun of it, folks. So let's speed up your design and automate repetitive tasks with SkyCiv. I'm not going to do it, but all I did was look at the stuff on the truck. Now I'm going to remove the W shapes, whatever that means. But there's a whole table of dimensions, 4 by 13, 5 by 16, 5 by 19, and it gives you all these other dimensions. So now I'm going to take out the W shapes, and we're going to find out what AISC means. American AISC libraries, AISC beams, how to use them. There are 2 C shapes, 2 MC shapes, American standard of channels, equal angles, unequal angles, double angles, HP, pipes, square, column trees, pipes, rectangular tubes, obsolete, square tubes, obsolete. So just for the fun of it, we've been looking at W shapes, right? That's the one we were looking at. How about miscellaneous channels? Oh no, double angle. There we go. I don't see a picture of it. There we go. Steel beam dimensions for 2L2-1/2 by 1 inch. Da 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 da. Standardized construction materials. So then we go, and now we're up to the part where it says an American. American libraries, ADM, AISC, AISI, NDS, SJI. What is this one? The AISC library is published and maintained by, now we know, the American Institute of Steel Construction, AISC, American Institute of Steel Construction. It contains the standards for the design and construction of steel buildings. The library contains frequently used shapes and beams, including what is the cold formed library, what is the NDS timber library, what is the SJ Steel Joist Institute. What's a joist? I understand what, oh, those things that hold the roof up, are those joists? If I go into my Walmart and look up, that's what I see. It's a style of construction of a building. And then we take out that and we have /database. Select a country to explore as sections library. American libraries, Australian, British libraries, Canadian libraries, Mexicano libraries, European libraries, Indian libraries, South African libraries, Chinese libraries. Now I'm curious, is the Chinese stuff steel? Let's see if they have W beams. W shape. Now these are in millimeters. And the W is the same kind of format, W375 by 394. But what I said to you was, I suspect that the American decimalized dimensions probably derive from metric, because the steel industry of this sort was ongoing, formative, at the time of just after the American Revolutionary War. If you know a little bit about the 19th century British industrial advance. So we want the British steel beam tables. Will they be in inches? Square hollow sections, circular equal angle, they have different words for it. How about universal beams? 127 by 76. Areas in square millimeters, millimeters, millimeters. I'm pretty sure that if I took out my calculator, I would find 2.54 millimeters, I think that's right, times 15 point, I did that wrong, 15.9 is 40.38. We'll call it close enough for it's, you see what I'm doing? Let me see if I get that right. Inches to centimeters, millimeters. Conversion. Yeah, it is 2.54. I remembered it correctly. Okay, so that's probably the origin of the inches thing being decimal fractions. Close enough. And we're getting out of here. See, I'm just exploring. And we want to get rid of out of the databases and go to the home page of these people. And it's called beamdimensions.com. And as we said, it has all those libraries, countries, shape libraries, material libraries, ASTM steel, European aluminum, European concrete, Canadian steel, Canadian timber, British steel, Australian steel, and then structural design tools, steel beam load capacity calculator. Have you chosen a beam that can carry the load that you're envisioning? It may very well be that the steel beam has to hold up an asphalt roof, that's one thing, or it might have to hold up, because it's in a tunnel, concrete and earth. Ta-da! I'm guessing. So I've taken you on a little journey because I read out what was printed on the side of that I-beam. And I learned something new about you. Steve A. Forio, just an idiot running his mouth, having fun, saying see you at 73.